Hey guys, I'm here to get into Se7en, which is directed by David Fincher, released in the year 1995. And this just holds up as an all time favorite project. It just has an incredibly detail oriented way about just very extremely entertaining value from start to finish. David Fincher just conveys a uniquely pulpy and rainy kind of atmosphere around a very dark, kind of dreadful looming, just dread looming all throughout this project. The atmosphere is unforgettable and how unforgettably lonely it is, and it's just within an urban perspective as it foreshadows just I don't know, just all kinds of elements I see in a lot of my favorite elements of like Denis Villeneuve and it's just in Long Legs as well as Osgood Perkins. And this is just like an all-time favorite exploration on obsessive qualities and the dark depths of that. And dark, like the fascinated, feeling fascinated by dark thoughts and just how that can stem into obsession from start to finish. And I think it's portrayed perfectly by the way the dynamic between Morgan Freeman and Brad Pitt. And I just always like this is just a mid '90s performance by Freeman as well as like feels like Shawshank Redemption in like early '90s, like Unforgiven. I just get this similar, very extremely existential mood piece of dread, and his dynamic with Brad Pitt is just one of my all-time favorites of characterization. It's incredibly rich and just kind of like an elderly versus a hotshot kind of youthful sort of perspective, and it's just perfect how this is all kind of haunts the imagination ultimately. And Fincher is very original. David Fincher is very original in how he doesn't really depict like plenty acts of violence. And there's the few moments that are raw, but it's mostly just aftermath and everything around it, which is just very influential. Where it has like the most violent, dreadful atmosphere possible, which reminds me a lot of like Paul Thomas Anderson did with Daily Blood, where it's just like it feels like violence is happening in every corner, but you don't really see much of it. Like it's really just everything's implied rather more than anything, and it just really haunts the imagination timelessly. It's like a mid '90s kind of way of like a neo noir kind of depiction. The ways that like films like Fritz Lang, Roman Polanski haunt timelessly, and it just carries a lot of weight around it. There's a lot of subtlety. There's just all kinds of moves that are explored all throughout. Very original kind of gritty mood piece. And David Fincher would return to the serial killer genre numerous times more, but never this gritty, never this raw in atmosphere. And yeah, it's absolutely terrifying how insane all this psychological torture is from start to finish. Um, it's just a completely appealing atmosphere. Picture conveys from start to finish. Very much about obsession. I'm realizing that's a huge quality of Fincher. He's an extremely obsessive type of director. And this just has one of a kind cinematography. It's just very rich in exploration and wonder towards psychopathy, with fascination towards the dark side, as much as Fight Club. I think that's all, like this is like the dark into the '90s. I think Fincher is just perhaps my absolute favorite to look at it this way. This always had a lot of mystique value over me on my first viewing. It's like but films like this are so mysterious that they just like are way ahead of their time. Sometimes they just need a few viewings to digest, such as like this aforementioned. And this is just perfect once you getting into it. Just the whole mysterious flow about it. You just have like you got Freeman and Pitt are the main characters, but you just have some of the side characters here, particularly some of the standouts are just with Paltrow in the few moments you see her. It's like not like a loud presence that's very seldom seen, such as and as well as Kevin Spacey as the villain here. It's just about the most uniquely intimidating place I've ever seen in my life. This is just a really insane level of just insanity involving a very different kind of serial killer. It stands out as completely original to the '90s. So, say the foundation that Silence of the Lambs has that so cultural. It builds influence, but a completely original tone, which is just a lot more of an urban. I would say Silence of the Lambs is more of a rural perspective on this kind of subject matter. This is like very urban. Just this kind of unknown area where it's just always pouring rain every moment. So it's just like very nightmarish and haunting all throughout. And it's just Jeff Bezos all kinds of insanity from start to finish. It's just a one of a kind in how it's paced within its thriller depths, and yeah, it just holds up as a completely timeless depiction from start to finish. As yeah, it's just yeah, an all time favorite.